Ladies and gentlemen, why haven't we heard any more F124 game news? They said we would hear more about the game in April. That was the 27th of February. It's now, the 10th of April when this is going out, the 9th when I'm recording this. And there is nothing on the game. There's no details available. There's not been any leaks of anything. And I'm not going to lie, have we forgot? I've forgotten about F124, but mostly, it's out the mind. The focus the past couple of weeks has been on F1 Manager 2024 with, it having... It had its announced trailer, and then it had a follow-up with a Q&A with one of the people, and we haven't seen that video. Then Mechanicals go and check out on their version of My Team or Creator Team, whatever they're calling it this year. But yes, nothing on F124, and quite possibly we're not going to hear anything for another 2 weeks. Because according to what they released earlier, 24th of April, which is 2 weeks from when this is going out, is when we're supposed to be getting the rest of the liveries, apparently, for F1 on F123, potentially. Not confirmed, but nevertheless, it is something. But yeah. Now, if you remember back to 12 months ago, we were in a very similar predicament with F123. We had a game that was announced in March, and then we went pretty much 2 months without any news whatsoever. And it looks like we're going to have the same again, because there is nothing. Now, whoever's decided this at EA and Codemasters, they need to stop this strategy, because it is a terrible marketing strategy. Who in their right mind thinks, okay, so we're going to announce the game, we're not going to tell anyone any details, we'll give some bland details about a new career mode, and obviously the pre-order dates and how much it's going to cost, but we're not going to give any big details about anything we're going to be changing this year for another 2 months. Why? Why do we have to wait 2 months? And also, there can't be that much difference if they're going to probably have 1 or 2 special videos, probably a month before the game comes out. It does not look good, does it? But then, of course, as I mentioned previously, F124 is not a next-gen game. There is the distinct possibility, even though the Ego engine, copyright stuff, has been removed from the F124 page, that they are still using the Ego engine and they've just changed the copyright or something as well. Yeah, I mean, it also bodes what this career mode better be good, because my goodness, is it going to be, are we going to get all the new features at once? How many new features is it going to be? Is it just going to be them re-adding cutscenes, interviews, and a few things from Breaking Point? Because that's not really a revamped career mode. You're just transferring, you're re-adding stuff that was taken away from career mode in 2020, and then also you're just really adding in potentially a few things from Breaking Point, which is basically copying and pasting another part of the game. Yeah, I'm annoyed about this. I want to hear what you guys have to say, truly and honestly, in the comments below, because obviously there was just a lot of discussion on the previous video about what game engine there's going to be. Who knows? Like, we're supposed to be getting, I presume there's going to be one video about the handling. So I don't think David Greco doesn't work there anymore, I don't think. So I presume there'll be somebody else that'll get out for a handling stuff. So they'll do an episode on that, and then there'll be a video on what they're doing for career mode, whatever, the transfer and the stuff from other career modes. Whether or not my team does get an uplift or not, considering the fact that F1 Manager 2024 is, is producing its own my team as well, might drive people away to drive a career mode as well. This is where, Frontier have done a better job, because yes, although we've only heard about my team, we've heard a little snippets. They showed us, they had the big announced trailer, and then they had a little bit of a stream update as part of their monthly update. We're going to be getting another one later this month as well, so we could get more F1 Manager 2024 game news before F1 24 game news. Just think about that. F1 Manager 2024 is coming out after F1 24, probably around the end of July. We don't actually have a release date for it, but yet we know more about that game than F1 24. It just makes me think, is the game actually going to be any good? Like, if you're bottling it up, it's like they've got something to hide. And I got the feeling with this, with F1 23, that it wasn't going to be great. And potentially, we could have the same thing with F1 24. Not a great game on a old engine that maybe have new specs, or maybe they're switching to Unreal Engine 4. Either way, not the next generation engine that we wanted, which I know will please some of the old console players, because you don't have the new console, and that is a problem for... That is obviously a worldwide issue at the moment, that the lack of next generation consoles and the players, which is why a lot of games are still releasing on old generation consoles, and F1 24 will be one of them as well. I don't really have anything much to add to this, really, is to say this is what happened with F1 23. We had exactly the same when we didn't hear anything for 2 months. Possibly not going to hear anything, as I said, for another 2 weeks. In which case the game will be out a month and 4 days after that. Don't forget the bigger YouTubers and those that are rigged in a part of the EA Creator Network, because I'm not, will get that game early. So obviously they have playing time before then to show you guys stuff. With career mode, presumably there'll be something they'll be able to start early than everyone else. But yes, so that'll be like, we're talking a month to fit in a few things. Probably means that multiplayer is getting nothing. You're getting nothing. Don't expect anything to be coming from 2-player career mode either, because they've shown absolutely zero interest. There might be a few things where they copy and paste stuff from the other career modes, but there's not going to be anything really specific to that career mode, which, is overdue some new features as well. Grand Prix mode has probably not changed, which means we're not going to be getting that custom grid editor, etc, etc. The list does go on a little bit. There's a lot of stuff that we're probably not going to get updates for. Ultimately, a lot depends on what livery and what game engine we're getting, and whether there's going to be improved gameplay, etc, etc as well. But as I said, let me know in the comments below what you think about F1 24. Has the hype gone for you? Are you even going to buy it anymore? In the comments below. If EA and Codemasters are watching, which I know they're not, because I'm on some sort of EA/Codemasters blacklisted thing for historical reasons, then, the message from me is simple. Give us more game news. Even if it's just a minor thing, like F1 Manager's doing. Because Frontier have hit the nail on the head. There's going to be more stuff later this month. Probably might even be next week, if not the week after, that we hear more stuff from them in their monthly sessions. And yes, they've announced the game probably a little bit earlier than they wanted to, but they've reacted to EA and Codemasters, and so far, in my view, the last few years, they had a lot more players playing the game for longer than the F1 game as well, and that message is probably going to be the same for F1 24. But yeah, as I said, let me know what you think in the comments. But if you are new around here, then please do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. Until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.